When I say moral thinkers, philosophers, leaders, let us first start off with virtue ethics. Let us start off with virtue ethics. सबसे पहले हम वर्च्यू एथिक्स से बात करते हैं. हमने इसको ऑलरेडी पढ़ा हुआ है, बट डिटेल में नहीं पढ़ा हुआ है. while we were talking about ethics is about understanding right or wrong. What did I say? That you can understand right or wrong. There are various perspectives. One perspective is virtue philosophers. Whether have you uphold certain virtues or not. इसके proponents कौन थे? Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. ठीक है, ये हमने देखा था कि वर्च्यू फिलोसोफर्स की बात करते हैं. सेकंड अगर हम देखें इट इज अबाउट राइट और रॉन्ग डिपेंडेंट ऑन डिओंटोलॉजिकल प्रिंसिपल्स. डू यू अपहोल्ड योर ड्यूटी और नॉट. क्या आपने अपनी ड्यूटी को अपहोल्ड किया है कि नहीं किया है. द थर्ड यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज फ्रॉम द व्यू पॉइंट ऑफ द कॉन्सिक्वेंशियलिस्ट स्कूल. कॉन्सिक्वेंशियलिस्ट स्कूल कि आपका जो कॉन्सिक्वेंस था वो सही था कि नहीं था. अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ कॉन्सिक्वेंशियलिस्ट स्कूल. सो वर्च्यू फिलोसोफर्स, डिओंटोलॉजी, consequentialist philosophers, that is what helps you do right or wrong. In that we also had seen here you have utilitarian school and you have ethical egoism. Utilitarian है और ethical egoism है. Utilitarian is about J.S. Mill as well as Jeremy Bentham, and ethical egoism was about Ayn Rand. ये हमने चार्ट बनाया हुआ है, but हमने डिटेल्स में नहीं पढ़ा था. That time I had also said that we will do the details only when once we have actually covered the unit 5. So now at we are unit 5, we will cover this. So please write about virtue ethics. Please write about virtue ethics, which is about Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. So who are the contributors? The contributors are in this school. The contributors are Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Socrates, Plato and Aristotle की में हम बात कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, तो सोक्रेट्स के बारे में लिखेंगे सबसे पहले. सोक्रेट्स, फर्स्टली वील राइट अबाउट सोक्रेट्स. सोक्रेट्स क्या मानते थे? ठीक है, तो बेसिकली सोक्रेट्स इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी दी, मतलब लिखेंगे पहले सुन लीजिए. सोक्रेट्स जो होते हैं ये ओरिजिनेटर ऑफ एथिक्स माने जाते हैं. ही सेज दैट ही इज द वन हु हैज लेड टू ओरिजिन ऑफ एथिक्स. व्हाई इज इट सेड सो? Well, let's first go to the Greek society. Greek society पे जाते हैं and then समझते हैं. Initially Greek society को ये लगता था the way they look at things, that is the only way of looking at things. So what is when they saw that it is, let's say, ethical to respect parents in Greek society, so it was seen that it is ethical everywhere to respect the parents. Okay, that's what Greek society said. If it is non-vegetarianism is ethical, non-vegetarianism is ethical in every society. So what is applicable in our society is also applicable in other society. That was the idea that was prevalent. However, Socrates believed in questioning. Socrates believed that no, you should not think like that. You should always question. You should question your rituals. You should question your customs. You should question the way you look at things. So you should always question. So Socrates believed in questioning things. Okay, question karo. Now when a person questions, there's a high possibility that a person can become threat to the ruling dispensation. जो ruling parties होती हैं, उनको threat लग सकता है कि ये इतनी questioning, इतनी political system जो चल रहा है उसको question क्यों कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. So Socrates was considered as a threat to the political dispensation, and then he was put to jail. He was imprisoned. जेल में डाल दिया, imprison कर लिया. And then Socrates had a chance to escape the jail, but Socrates did not escape the imprisonment. Why? Because he said no, a wrong is wrong. ठीक है, तो I would fight for my cause via justice. I would fight for the cause by being correct. I would fight for my cause by being courageous and not timid. तो courageous act नहीं है, ये timid act है, ये गलत है. ठीक है, so he did not take any wrong means, and therefore he said to be the originator of ethics. So कुछ लिखेंगे सोक्रेट्स जी के बारे में. अगर आपसे directly question पूछ लिया तो आपको कुछ पता होना चाहिए. I see very rare chance of something being asked directly from moral philosophers and thinkers. What is generally asked is the code-based question. Code-based question generally पूछा जाता है, ठीक है. तो आप code-based questions को ज्यादा prepare करें. You now understand the format of writing the code-based question. Format जरूरी है जानना, क्योंकि format अगर जानते हैं तो फिर बाकी चीजें आपके लिए आसान हो जाती. So please write about Socrates. First point, he is considered to be originator of ethics. Full stop and write. Based on the method of questioning. Based on the method of questioning. In bracket you can write, ethics is about understanding right or wrong by questioning. Bracket close. Next point. He mentioned that humans should question all the surroundings through reasoning, logic, and rational thinking to arrive an understanding of right or wrong. Full stop and right. He mentioned an quote में लिखे. He mentioned quote में लिखे, an unexamined life is not worth living. Therefore, Socrates started the concept of art of reasoning. Full stop. Next point. In Socrates, following acts are important. 1. Freedom to speak one's own mind. 2. Courage of acceptance. 3. The ability to speak the truth. 4. Principle of objectivity. Okay, so these are the ideas that Socrates have used in his understanding. Right? He says, इसमें लिखे Socrates philosophy में स्टार मार्क करके, based on the above principle, based on, he mentioned the quality of human life can be improved and it can make a society virtuous. ठीक है, तो आपको सोसाइटी में क्वेश्चनिंग यूज करनी चाहिए, जिसको हम सॉक्रेट्स फिलोसफी कहते हैं. You should use questioning, you should speak your mind, you should accept truth, you should have the courage to accept the facts. That's what Socrates' idea is about, right? And Socrates believed in questioning. Socrates believed in the art of reasoning. And he says only by this you can make your life virtuous. इसी से आप अपनी सोसाइटी, अपनी लाइफ को virtuous बना सकते हो. ठीक है? That's what Socrates believed in, right? Relevance of Socrates. Write about the relevance of Socrates. Write about the relevance of Socrates. Write the first one. इनकी आइडिया कहाँ relevant है? Please write. It is important to question and arrive at the rational thinking, to question prejudices and stereotype in society. Okay, write the next one. Socrates' philosophy can help in SWOT analysis. Can help in SWOT analysis. That is knowing one's strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It can help in development of emotional intelligence. It can help in development of emotional intelligence. And you can write dash करके, emotional intelligence is nothing but using reasoning in emotions and using emotions in reasoning. That's Socrates for you. Now, write the second philosopher, Plato. प्लेटो की बात करते हैं. प्लेटो क्या बिलीव करते हैं? प्लेटो बिलीव करते हैं 4 वर्च्यूज में। देखो, वर्च्यू फिलोसोफर्स के हिसाब से एक डिसीजन एथिकल है कि नहीं है, वो देखना है कि आपने कुछ वर्च्यूज को अपहोल्ड किया है कि नहीं। क्या आप करेजियस थे, क्या आप में टेम्परेंस था, क्या आप में फोर्टिट्यूड था, डिड यू बिलीव इन बीइंग वाइज, डिड यू बिलीव इन फॉलोइंग द मध्यम मार्ग और नॉट। तो कुछ वर्च्यूज अपने अपहोल्ड किए कि नहीं किए, दैट्स व्हाट these philosophers would believe in. So Socrates believed in questioning, Socrates believed in reasoning, Socrates believed in rational thinking, freedom to speak one's mind, be courageous. That's what Socrates believed in. प्लेटो क्या बोलते हैं, कुछ वर्च्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे कि जस्टिस, फॉर्टिट्यूड, प्रूडेंस, टेम्परेंस, ये इंपॉर्टेंट वर्च्यूज हैं। तो प्लेटो की बात करते हैं, प्लीज राइट। Plato refines the theory of Socrates. Plato refines the theory of Socrates. And mention 4 important virtues. And mention 4 important virtues. Such as इसको याद करने के लिए आप ये रख सकते हैं, JFPT, such as justice, such as fortitude, such as prudence, and such as temperance. Justice, fortitude, prudence, and temperance. ठीक है, तो उन्होंने बोला 4 इंपॉर्टेंट वर्च्यूज हैं, जस्टिस, fortitude, prudence, and temperance. That is what Plato believed in. Then the virtue philosopher, the next virtue philosopher is Aristotle. Aristotle. Aristotle के लिए लिखिए, as per Aristotle, the main aim of human life, the main aim of human life is happiness. The main aim of human life is happiness. Therefore, it is also sometimes mentioned that Aristotle is a teleological thinker. In bracket you can write, who can talk about the ends. Bracket close. ठीक है, तो वो बात करते हैं कभी कभी एंड की, कि it is important to be happy. Being happy is the end, it's a consequence. So therefore he sometimes considered to be a teleological thinker or a consequentialist thinker. Teleology का दूसरा नाम है consequentialist. ये consequence की बात करते हैं, ये happiness की बात करते हैं. So he is sometimes considered as not virtue philosophers. Virtue uphold करने की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, consequence की बात कर रहे हैं, teleology की बात कर रहे हैं, sometimes considered to be the teleological thinker, right? Aristotle gave the concept of doctrine of means. Sometimes gives the concept of the doctrine of means. ठीक है, what does that means? डैश करके लिखे. It means doctrine of means नहीं, doctrine of mean. इसमें लिखे that extreme situation should be avoided. The extreme situation should be avoided. And a middle path should be taken. And the middle path should be taken. तो आप एक्सट्रीम सिचुएशन अवॉइड करेंगे और एक मिडिल पाथ को लेंगे. एग्जाम्पल कैसे हो सकता है? सो ऑन वन एंड इट कुड बी foolhardy यानी जो हर चीज पे करेज दिखाए. On one hand, it can be foolhardy, whose courageous at every situation. Okay, at one situation it can be foolhardy. At one situation it can be timid. There can be timid. So ये timid होगा. ठीक है. On one situation, इसके बीच में क्या आएगा? इसके बीच में आ जाएगा courage. तो ना foolhardy होना है, ना ही आपको timid होना है, but आपको courageous होना है. You have to be courageous. On one, it can be shy. Completely shy person. On the other hand, it can be shameless. There can be a person who is not bothered by anything but is very, very shameless. And in between, you can have modesty. इसके बीच में क्या हो सकती है? Modesty हो सकती है. तो आपने ऐसी सिचुएशन अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए जो कि मीन है. मध्यम मार्ग का जो कंसेप्ट है, that is the idea there. Avoid extreme situation and adopt the middle path. This is called as doctrine of mean. He said it is important to practice mean, doctrine of mean. मध्यम मार्ग की तरफ जाओ, बीच में जाओ, rather than this one. ठीक है? Please write the next line. The golden mean has to be decided. The golden mean has to be decided on the basis of rationality. On the basis of rationality and prudence. On the basis of rationality and prudence. Aristotle mentions a happy life is a life full of virtues. A happy life is a life full of virtues. Therefore, virtues are important. Therefore, virtues are important. however, it is difficult to live a virtuous life. It is difficult to live a virtuous life because it is difficult to find a golden mean. It is difficult to find a golden mean. आप गोल्डन मीन को नहीं फाइंड कर सकते, इसीलिए आप वर्चुअस लाइफ को भी नहीं जी सकते. इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड अ वर्चुअस लाइफ बिकॉज इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू फाइंड अ गोल्डन मीन. ठीक है, राइट अबाउट इट. द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, Aristotle had a very positive view of the man. Aristotle had a very positive view of the man. He believed man is a political being, comma, social being, and also ethical being, Underline the word ethical being. So it's not that this man is a social being. Man is a social being, political being, and also ethical being. ठीक है, तो ethical being भी है वो. This is in contrast to idea of many philosophers. बहुत सारे philosophers ने दूसरी idea दी है. बहुत सारे philosophers ने बोला है कि man is not an ethical being. जैसे कि कौटिल्य जी ने बोला है कि man is not ethical being. थॉमस हॉब्स कहते हैं कि man is not an ethical being. तो इनका जो व्यू पॉइंट है, काफी philosophers का नेगेटिव व्यू पॉइंट है अबाउट द ह्यूमन. They don't believe that man is capable of being ethical. But ये idea Aristotle के साथ नहीं है. Aristotle believes that man is a positive being, he is a social being, ethical being, political being, ये तीनों है. And therefore he has a positive view of man. So Socrates के हिसाब Aristotle के हिसाब से, Aristotle के हिसाब से, it is important to live a happy life. How can you live a happy life? You can live a happy life when you live a life full of virtues. How do you decide कि virtues आएंगे? You will decide on the basis of whether you are able to uphold the golden mean or not. क्या आप golden mean को uphold कर पा रहे हो? Golden mean क्या है? Golden mean is about finding the average और मध्यम मार्ग. तो ना ही आपको एकदम फूल हार्डी होना है, आपको ना ही एकदम टिमिड होना है, करेज बीच में लाई करता है, ना ही आपको एकदम शाय होना है, ना ही एकदम आपको शेमलेस हो जाना है. यू हैव टू हैव मॉडेस्टी. तो उन्होंने बोला कि आपको गोल्डन मीन फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. ये बात तो ठीक है, बट इट इज इजी टू से देन टू डू इट. Right? What do we mean by courageous? What do we mean by foolhardy? So it is easy to say than to do it. Therefore, it becomes difficult to live a virtuous life. That's what Aristotle says. That's what we've written. So he has a positive view of man. He believes that man is a political being, social being, and an ethical being. This was about your virtue philosophies.